And Plattsburgh Town Supervisor Michael Cashman joins us. Nice to see you again. Welcome.
Good to see you, Tom. Always good to be with you.
A couple of major stories happening this past week. Champlain Centre has been sold and has new owners, and the town hoping to follow the success of some other communities here in the North Country and applying for the next round of $10 million grants that are awarded as part of the state's Downtown Revitalization Initiative. So why don't we start there? The town hoping to convince the state to help with some developments. Are you focusing on Plattsburgh's town center area?
We are focusing on the town center. It's the section of the town right off of exit 37 as you're teeing up through the Consumer Square area over to Smithville Boulevard, and one of the key areas is over near the mall. We're very excited. We applied a couple of years ago. It was really a trial balloon to see what that process was like. We learned a lot, and since then we've launched our developer's guide. We've launched a community survey to dig deeper into some of the data sets that we're looking for to develop a community vision plan.
So what are some of the ideas and projects you'll pitch to the state? Do you know yet? I know you're having a meeting with the community coming up on June 5th. Do you have some ideas already that you'll take to the community, or do you simply open it up to the community and say, give us your suggestions?
Yes, that's a great question. So there's definitely some themes that we're starting to see pop up already. Housing is one of them. Being designated a pro-housing community puts us in a very strong position to even go after the DRI. Regional recreation, additional opportunities for shopping. So it's all the things that we've been talking about over these last several years when we adopted our smart growth plan, our town center plan. But unlike other municipalities that have struggled with this process over the years, we want this to be built by a community vision.
Are there any projects that top the list already for the town?
There's not any particular projects for the town that are topping the list. Really what we're doing is making sure to engage the public. We would also encourage people to check out elevateplattsburgh.com. It's a fully developed website with a lot of information on there because we know some people may not be able to come to the Senior Planet event. We'll be doing at least one other public engagement session in addition to this, but we want people to really feel comfortable leaning in, letting us know. We already know things like recreation top the list for our community's interest. So we imagine that we're going to see some more themes there as well as some additional restaurants and shopping opportunities.
And when you talk about recreation, first thing that pops to mind is the loss of the Crate Civic Center, demolished a couple of years ago. Could one of the ideas be that indoor sports facility that's been talked about for this area where everyone teams up together, the town, the city, other communities in the area team up to pitch that idea?
Yeah, I think that and many other things could be on the table. We're in the planning stages, and in the planning stages it's absolutely critical to get our community involved.
And when we hear you say make sure that you have the community behind you, is that a referral to the city of Plattsburgh? We know that's still tied up 8 years later in the courts, and there's opposition to the centerpiece of that project. Has the town learned from what the city is going through as far as having the community fully behind the project that you take to the state?
Yeah, I think it's important that we're not in a position to compare ourselves to our sister municipalities. Really, that statement is about what the town has always done in our planning process. Certainly, you can look around the North Country at other communities that have learned through their DRI project, but really what we're focused on is driving the fact that our community has needs, they have interests, and then, if we are so fortunate to be awarded those monies, that there's a whole other level of planning and execution that comes after that as well.
And you talk about housing. There's Northwoods already. That's in the town center. Are you possibly looking to expand that or build units in addition to that?
So the town center, we adopted a smart growth plan that allows for more density in the town center. And the town is in a position where we're looking for housing of all forms and makeup, okay? We're looking for affordable housing, but we're also looking for market rate housing. We're looking for housing, think of it this way, where there could be storefronts on the bottom of a building and apartments up above. So there's lots of opportunities, and also be open to having some conversation with some developers. What's really interesting is when the town was designated as the first pro-housing community in Clinton County, mind you, one of only 5 in the North Country and among the first 20 that the governor made the announcement, the very next week we had tons of developers from around the state and around the country calling us wanting to have conversation. And one of those developers has an interest to do 250 unit subdivision, which is very significant.
You have a housing summit that you're hosting. That's coming up next week. Tell us about that. Who are you inviting, and what are you hoping that this will do?
We actually have over 100 registrants from all over the North Country. The focus is elected officials, people on planning boards, town councils. We also are hosting realtors. We're hosting people that are housing advocates, developers themselves, builders. So it's quite an array of individuals. The idea is that the town of Plattsburgh has assumed a position as a leader in the arena for housing, but we also recognize that we still have a lot to learn. So we benefit by bringing people together, having some honest conversations, doing some professional development, doing some networking, because this issue transcends any municipal border. So we're really looking forward to an active program.
All of this happening the same week that the town got word that your largest retail complex, Champlain Centre Mall, has been sold, long owned by the Pyramid Corporation out of Syracuse. Tell us about the new owners, Pacific Retail Capital Partners. They own a couple dozen major retail malls across the country?
They do. We talked with the local leadership and also some folks in the national company. It's been very, very positive. In fact, we're having some of those conversations about what our town center will look like in the next couple of years as well. So I would tell the public to have a lot of faith and interest in the development. They have a very strong track record.
I know it's early, but have they given you any indication of what their plans may be? Are they already looking at potentially expansion or new stores?
The best way that I could say it is that they're doing their homework and they're really investing in engagement. We were one of the first people that had a sit-down conversation with local leadership, and we're looking forward to more opportunities to engage with them.
You folks cut the ribbon just before Thanksgiving on the new Battlefield Memorial Gateway, the new Veterans Park and Memorial that the town's building along Lake Champlain. Are you already moving this spring into Phase 2 now?
Yeah, so we are actively in Phase 2. Phase 2 is a very public fundraising campaign, as well as an approach to apply for a number of grants. But because it's a public-private partnership, the Clinton County American Legion has also launched a very public campaign through social media. We're trying to continue to drive in those private dollars to support some of the grants that we're getting. And then Phase 2 is also probably the longest phase of this project because it's leading up to 2026, which is the 250th anniversary of this great nation. And that's the inland portion. The inland portion is where you're going to see a lot more of those amenities and features of the park developed.
And that would be the Veterans Memorial and possibly an amphitheater and an overlook looking out over Crab Island and Valcour Island?
Exactly, as well as the children's play space area.
And you have a video out. The town has a video out that showcases where you've come so far and what you're hoping to do with the site.
We do, and this video, what we're asking people to do is certainly take a look at the video. We'd love for people to donate towards the Battlefield Memorial Gateway project. We're also trying to raise awareness within our community because this truly is going to be a remarkable space, not only for the town of Plattsburgh and Clinton County, but for the entire North Country. I mean, the space overlooks two of the most historical battles, and it's right there on Lake Champlain. We should embrace it as a local community.
Michael Cashman, thanks a lot for taking the time to join us.
Thank you.